20% of your confidence comes from the outside. 80% of it is really coming from the inside. You're capable. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. If no one has told you that, or if you need to hear that, I'm telling you right now. Who do you spend time with? If it's a negative Nelly, if it's a Debbie Downer, guess what? They're not going to make you feel very confident. Are you feeling stuck, lost, tired, or uninspired? We've all been there, including myself. I'm Coach Dez, mindset motivator and lifestyle entrepreneur. I'm here to tell you that the best, unapologetic, and limitless version of yourself is yet to come. The Born Unbreakable podcast is here to inspire just that. With motivating guests from all different walks of life and around the world, their stories will empower you to unlock abundance and your unbreakable spirit. Do you need accountability? Reach out to me for a free consultation of how I can support you in reaching your maximum potential. Hey everyone, it is Coach Dez here, host of the Born Unbreakable podcast, and I am launching Born a Boss Babe 90-day transformational program starting in August. And I'm looking for 18 to 24-year-old young, confident women who are ready to step up and excel in life. What is the biggest difference of somebody like an Oprah or a LeBron James? It's having that mentorship and coaching. So if you're ready to supercharge your life, hit me up, des@bornunbreakable.com for more details. Welcome to the Born Unbreakable podcast. Oh my gosh, we are almost to August. I can't even believe that it's the end of July. How did we get here? It was 4th of July like 5 minutes ago, and now we're about to change months. This summer is flying by. Holy moly. I have to admit, I'm a little tired today. This has been such a busy week, and it's the week is not even over. We're only halfway through it. I have no makeup on today. Zero, not 1 ounce, 1 iota. I am coming to you all natural for anybody who's watching on YouTube. Hi, hello. This is me, natural. But it's actually fitting because today I'm going to be talking about confidence and how it comes from within. Does it help to have that external boost of confidence? Like, would I be rocking it a little bit more if I had a little makeup on and a cute outfit? I feel like my energy would supersede that though, because confidence really, in my assessment, does come from within. So I'm going to break that down, talk about it. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. This is a topic for everyone, all ages, men and women, across the board, across the world. Do you like my hat today? Anybody watching? Anybody watching? It says Sun Studio, Memphis. So I recently, one of my clients is in Memphis, so I go out there to do some work and try to have some fun when I can. And I went with my team that I'm working with, took them to Sun Studio as part of a celebration that we had for the work that we're doing out there. And it was freaking awesome. Sun Studio is where Elvis and Johnny Cash recorded their music, and the original equipment is in there. You see all these cool pictures from back in the day when they were doing their thing, and you could hear music that they made playing, and it just takes you back to that time. What a classic time. You've got to check it out if you're ever in Memphis, Tennessee. And you see everything in there. Elvis's social security card and his high school diploma, lots of cool pictures. I love it. I love it. Also, check out Lafayette's music room if you're there. Uh, I should be having some guests actually that I met from there coming on the show soon. And it is this fabulous place where, of course, if you like food from down there, uh, soul food, barbecue, all that kind of good stuff, Southern food, I guess you could say. Um, Check it out, and they have live music, which is the best thing. Memphis is known for blues and rock and roll and that kind of good stuff. So, uh, yeah, check it out, check it out, check it out. All right, that's my little plug. So confidence, that's the topic we're talking about. Why? What inspired me? Well, the world around me. I feel like the conversations that I have been having with my nieces who are 13 and 15 are around confidence in terms of their growth as teenagers, what they get excited about, what they get nervous about, what they're fearful of. And we do talk about it from both the external, how you look, how you appear, how you're received. And then, of course, internally, which sometimes is a little bit harder to talk about because it's vulnerability, it's recognizing the things that you may feel inadequate in. You may feel insufficient, not enough. I know we've talked about that on the show a number of times. Things where you wish your skills were better, you're comparing yourself to other people, you get feedback that makes you feel like you should be doing better than you are, whether it's from a partner, like your significant other, or it's a coworker or a boss or your family. So there's a lot of things that influence our confidence. And of course, there's this little thing called social media. What does that do? What does that do in the mix? I also happen to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time and getting to know a little bit more about me. And here in Las Vegas, there is a lot of entertainment, a lot of people in the industry who do things like modeling and performing, entertaining, singing, all kinds of really fun, awesome stuff. As I've had an opportunity to connect with people from all areas of the entertainment industry, it's fascinating to me when I meet people and they have this incredible stage presence and this confidence when they are out there performing. Yet when I talk to them, they have doubts, insecurities, and personally, as they move through the world, they, on a day to day basis, don't feel very confident. So they've gained confidence in this one area where they've had to perform or live into an expectation or persona that people have become acclimated to and familiar with, which I think is very interesting because to some extent, we all acquire knowledge, especially if we're studying something in school and decide to pursue something as a profession. And arguably, that means we can become confident, at least in some area, whatever that is that you spend a lot of time learning about and studying. But how do you have confidence holistically? Holistically. Well, first of all, let's just break down a little bit more of the influences that I was highlighting. So we'll talk about what influences your confidence overall, and then the most important part, because this show is about taking action so we can be better people, is what do we do to work on our confidence so we can show up every day as the best version of ourselves, putting ourselves out there and being unapologetic about that. Like having no makeup on right now and it's just fine. This is what you get today. Okay. So, one thing that influences our confidence is our upbringing. So, if you think about how you were raised in your household with your family members or your caretakers, whoever those individuals may be, What was the experience like with those individuals? Did you get complimented? Did you get constructive feedback more of the time? What was the daily conversation and engagement like with those in your everyday household experience? That is a big factor of what influences us because, as we know, we have things in our childhood that can uplift us or potentially can traumatize us, right? If you were told certain things as a child that you weren't good enough, we had, and I've talked about that. I've done a blog post about that, so check that out too. Bornunbreakable.com. Little plug there. Go check out the blog. But it's easy to feel that lack of confidence if you weren't applauded, recognized, rewarded, complimented as a child in your household. And if you were, then that's awesome. Maybe that's where you started to build it. And of course, your environment, growing up, whether that was in school, perhaps you grew up in community, so church or other activities that you might have done, sports, things like that. If you were told that there are things that you're good at and that continuously got reinforced, then you probably gained confidence in that, and vice versa. If you were told something otherwise, like you're not so good, you kind of suck at that, or maybe if you struggled in school and you always felt like you weren't at the top of your class, or you weren't the A student, or in PE you weren't the first one that finished when you were doing your laps, or you always came in last, or whatever it might be. All of those things color our confidence experience, right? And then you fast forward to your adolescent, your teenage, your early adult, and then adult life. And that is where the work comes in, because once you're able to get in tune with who you are, what you want, and how you want to show up in the world, that is where confidence gets built. So, the other influences that I'll mention is social media. That's something that is so much more dominant today. See, when I was in high school, I didn't really use social media. That wasn't a big thing in my time. And then when I was in college, that was the first introduction that I had to Facebook, and didn't really use it much then either. It wasn't until I was an adult that social media came into my life more heavily. And even today, I use it more to share about the podcast and more than anything else, right? So if you are a person that is under 21 years old, let's say, social media is a dominant presence, and much more so than any of us who are, in our late 20s, 30s, and above. And it is a place where so much happens in terms of your confidence, because when you put yourself out there, those likes, those comments, those shares can be a confidence booster, right? But then there's also the comparison of looking at everybody else's life, and that may or may not be a good thing, right? So there's that. So the bold statement that I want to make, because I mentioned external and internal confidence, is that the original commentary from the very beginning. Sorry, I'm tired. As you can see, my eloquency is not on point today. But confidence does come from within. I really do live pretty simply by the 80-20 rule. Kind of like your health. Any doctor is going to tell you that you can exercise and exercise and exercise. That's probably about 20% of what's going to get your body to look good. If you really want to improve the way that you appear, it's the way you eat that is going to make the biggest difference. And that's more of that 80%. And so with confidence, going back to my comment about internal versus external, the time that you spend externally, in my personal assessment, is more of that 20%. 20% of your confidence comes from the outside. 80% of it is really coming from the inside. You can wear the best makeup, the best clothes, have the most rockin' handbag, accessories, the whole 9 yards. Trust me, I love that stuff. So I know that it's fun and it feels good. But if you are not solid on the inside, fulfilled with who you are, what you believe, how you want to show up in the world, you are not going to walk confidently out there and engage with people. So the first thing that I would tell you is I'm not going to knock the fact that you might want to work on the looks, because that's a real thing. And I would be lying to you if I said that it wasn't, as if you don't have to take care of your outer appearance. Yes, it is good to stay in shape, but take care of yourself, take care of your skin, those kinds of things. And it does make you feel good, right? Who doesn't feel good when you put on a new outfit or wear that business suit and walk into a room and feel very powerful? It's a great feeling. Take care of your appearance. You will probably walk taller and have better posture if you are putting something on and putting some effort into it. So do put effort into it. You know, that's why they do those makeover shows and things of that nature. I remember they used to do that back in the day. Gosh, was that like Ricky Lake? Okay, now I'm going to date myself. Does anybody remember that? Do you remember that show? Anyhow, they used to have a lot of talk shows besides Oprah and whatnot, and they would do that all the time, is these makeovers, you know, where somebody would look kind of frumpy, just not kind of disheveled, not looking real good, and then they would boom, get a haircut, have a little makeup, change up their wardrobe, and then bam, they're on their merry way. But remember, that kind of thing can be temporary. And there's a lot of people who walk out into the world and look like a 12 out of 10 and come home and cry and feel miserable and alone and really bad, right? So that only goes so far. It only goes so far. So doing the internal work is so vital. So we're going to get into a couple of ways that you can focus on that. But I do want to also point out, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Give me a break here today. Give me some grace, a little grace. Um, the comparison thing, And I know I've talked about this before, but comparing, it is the thief of joy. It really is, because like Theodore Roosevelt, you know, he said that. And you are and the reason for that is because you're spending more time worried about someone else that you can't control and change versus yourself. The only person that you can control is you. So the more time you spend focused on others means the less time you're focusing on yourself. So if you flip your attention onto yourself, then you can invest the time and energy on making yourself the best version of you, right? Okay, so how do you do that? One might ask, Dez, please get to the freaking punchline already. We've been waiting for however many minutes. 18 minutes, according to my little clock here. Well, self-exploration. How do you do self-exploration? There's a couple different ways, right? You can journal, start writing. There's journals where there's prompts that pose questions that evoke, there's thought-provoking questions that ask you about your life, your beliefs, how you feel. And sometimes just the process of getting in tune and in touch with your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, your desires is such an easy yet underutilized way to get in touch with you. The more you're in touch with you, the stronger conviction you can have for who you are, which increases how you show up in the world and be unapologetic for it. Spend time asking yourself and doing a gut check with yourself on questions like, what do you like? What makes you feel fulfilled? What gives you joy? What are the things that you truly believe in and are passionate about? What do you stand for? What are you willing to defend because it is uniquely you and you're unapologetic for it? Because as you know, that is my message, to be unapologetically you. See, a lot of times as we're growing up and as we move in the world, one of the things that we're looking for is acceptance and validation. That's part of what social media gives us. That's why we get on there and enjoy all of the dopamine hits that we get from people engaging and complimenting on our outfits and things like that, right? The other way that you get that acceptance and validation is adaptation, assimilation, assimilating to the world around you, people pleasing. When you are agreeable, right? You're likable. But is that the way for you to really discover who you are? That's why I think it's important to spend some time alone. Spend some time alone to learn about who you are. And another great way to do that is through reading books, listening to podcasts, exploring topics that you're interested in and fascinated by, having a mindset of intellectual curiosity, growth. There's a big difference between a fixed mindset of getting attached to the past, your previous identity, and a growth mindset, because we are evolving every day. You're not who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even yesterday, because today, this is an opportunity for you to grow and learn something new. And so as you do that, whatever things that you felt that you were less than or not confident in, you can spend the time to learn so you can gain more information, gain more knowledge, apply yourself, try again, and do better next time. When you look at those people that you might admire today, when you see the greats, like I like sports, so I often use those analogies, like the Joe Montana or the Michael Jordan or the Tom Brady. Their confidence and being able to be who they are and do what they do comes from the commitment to not give up, to persevere, and to keep learning and growing. So that even in the times of darkness and failure and falling and mistakes, you have the resiliency to get back up and know you can do it again and do it better next time. It takes practice, it takes tenacity, commitment, dedication, but those habits, like take a little bit of time every day to do some learning and spend that time with yourself. Can you do that? Let me just put a call to action out there right now. Can you commit to starting with, if you haven't already, and if you're an A+ student and you do this and you're like, Des, I already do this, girl, I'm the bomb.com. Well, okay, hey, keep doing it. applaud you. Maybe you can extend your time to do it a little bit more, or maybe you can help somebody do it a little bit better. If you can take 30 minutes a day out of your 24 hours that you dedicate to learning, whether that is reflecting and learning about yourself through that method of journaling, whether it's reading, whether it's listening to an audiobook, a podcast, whether it's through a conversation in community with in whatever community circles that you're in and you get engaged in, that is a way for you to use your brain so you can gain more confidence. Can you do that? Can you commit to 30 minutes a day to spend time with you, get in touch with you? So even in those moments of uncertainty, you can come back to your core and know all of the things that make you you, and to be proud of that. To be proud of that. Okay. Affirmations. I love that. That's another really good one. If you ask yourself right now, what is the area that you feel the least confidence in? Is it your appearance? Is it your health? Is it your mental abilities, your intelligence? Is it a skill? Is it a competency related to something you do for work? Is it something you've gotten feedback on from your kids, the people around you, your significant other, whomever? Think about that for a second. What is that? What is that thing right now that's eating away at you going, oh, I just don't know. Just don't feel that good about that. Just don't feel that confident about that. Now take that. Sit with it for a minute. What affirmation might you need to tell yourself that will flip that self-limiting belief around? Do you have to write a post-it that you read every morning that says, I am beautiful? Is it an alarm that you have to set that says, I am capable? Is it a check-in, a gratitude check-in that you might want to do with a friend every day to talk to them about how you're grateful that you're working on this thing that you want to get more confidence in? What accountability with an affirmation can you do to help boost your confidence by the way you talk to yourself? Did you know that just the way you talk to yourself influences your confidence? Yeah, it's a big deal. Play music. Oh my gosh. That's something that totally helps me. I feel so confident, like when I turn music on and I'm singing all by myself and dancing, and I really think I'm in a music video and I'm going to be in Step Up 4 or, whatever the next dance movie that comes out. Excuse me. I had to take a little drink there, having a dry throat. These solo episodes, man. Whew. But it is. Have those moments of just completely unfiltered fun of that getting to know you. Because when you can have that for yourself, then you can have that in the midst of other people. But you've got to get it with you first. You've got to get it with you first, because here's the thing. I know I've probably said this before, but hey, I'm going to say it again because I like reinforcing the things that I believe. And one thing I do know is that there is one person, just one, that's guaranteed to be with you at the end of your life. You have no control, no knowledge of whether anybody else is going to be there. But the one person that will be there at the end of your life is you. And if you don't like you, then that is not such a happy moment. When you're confident in who you are, you'll be glad to have yourself when you get to that point where you're about to cross over to the other side of wherever that is that you believe you're going next. Believe in yourself. Love yourself. Be confident in yourself. You're capable. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. If no one has told you that, or if you need to hear that, I'm telling you right now, repeat that. You know that little button? I love using that button, girl, boy, anybody listening. That little button that has it's like 10 seconds that you can go back, or 15 seconds. Now it's probably been about like 20 or 30 seconds. So you might have to hit it twice, but hit it, go back, listen to that again, listen to it a couple times. Listen to that as an affirmation. If you don't know what your affirmation is because you haven't decided yet, listen to that. Just do that if you have to. I'm just so big on that. I'm telling you, I'm a post-it girl. I'm a alarm girl, woman. I should say woman. It's more accurate. But really, when you do that, you start really learning how to use language that is uplifting and not negative language. Language is such a huge part of how we feel, or influences how we feel. So to start using better language with yourself, and that's going to help substantially. All right, couple of last points here. And then I do have a little announcement to make. I did tell you, right, that I was going to be making some announcements. So you'd have to be looking forward to future episodes. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish first. Hold on. Just wait a minute. The other thing, 2 more points. Vision boarding and goal setting. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love goal setting. I love vision boarding. When you have a mindset of getting excited about the future and what's to come and what that looks like and what you're willing to do to get to those goals, to get to those visions, that builds confidence because you're starting to take action related to your future to become, again, the next best version of you. Think about that. When was the last time you did a vision board? Be different. Doesn't have to be the beginning of the year. Doesn't have to be the end of the year when you do, your New Year's resolution, or like I said, I like setting goals at that time. Be different. Do it now. Do one in the middle of the year. Why not? Why not? I guarantee, Dez's guarantee, Coach Dez is telling you right now, if you do it, you're going to move the little confidence meter to be just a little bit higher. So give it a try. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. There's so many examples about how to do vision boards. You can Google it. You could do it digitally. You could draw it. You could cut stuff out and do it that way. You could go to Michael's and buy a little board, make it yourself. Go to Staples, Office Depot, all those places. Google it if you don't know how. Reach out to me if you need help, for goodness sake. Okay, last point. You're not going to be surprised by this. You're going to go, girl, I knew it. I knew you were going to say this. Okay, take a minute and guess. Guess what I'm going to say. All right. We'll see if you got it right. Who you surround yourself with? What? Yeah. Jim Rohn. He knows what's up. And he's talked to us about the 5 people we spend the most time with. How many times do I talk about that? I know. Again, reinforcement. Like, Dez, you've said this to us before. I know. I'm saying it again. This is not new news. This is consistent news. This is a place for consistency because I like giving consistent messages. Who do you spend time with? If it's a negative Nelly, if it's a Debbie Downer, guess what? They're not going to make you feel very confident. Think about who you're spending time with. If they uplift you, if they're positive, if they influence you in a good way, they make you better. Those are the people that are going to help you with your confidence. So think about that. Goodness gracious. That is one of my biggest points. Biggest points. I'm so passionate about that, as you can tell. Okay. Let me get off my soapbox here because we're running out of time. I like to make these episodes efficient and effective when I'm not interviewing someone because, gosh, I don't want you to have to listen to me just babble on and talk. I like the value that you get out of these steps. So what's resonated with you? I'd love to hear from you. If any of these little nuggets have resonated with you, reach out to me, Dez at bornunbreakable.com. You could DM me at bornunbreakable. Let me know. Drop a comment. Holy moly. If you haven't done that, write a review. Put it in there. Say, hey, Dez, it really resonated with me when you talked about X, Y, and Z. Or throw in an addition and say, there's another thing I want to point out. I love hearing that stuff because I can't tell you all the things in just a short episode. So I need your help. This is a collab. I need a collabo with you to tell me so this can be more interactive. But so that I just wanted to address that. And really and truly and in all seriousness, I do have nieces. I do care about how they move in the world. And I recognize that the influence and what's around them is different because of social media and what they deal with in this climate. So it is important to me for them to build a sense of self and have a strong sense of awareness, to have a foundation where regardless of what's happening around them, that they can feel confident in who they are and know that it's okay if other people don't agree because you have your own back. We have to have our own back, right? So I appreciate you being here, tuning in, taking time to give me feedback if you're willing to do that. My announcement. All right, I'm going to end with this and I'm going to say sayonara. Peace out after this. I am going to get coached live on the show throughout the month of August for 6 weeks. What? Are you serious, Dez? What are you talking about, girl? Well, starting on the first episode of the new month in August, I have a coach who I'll introduce to you. She was actually on the show before. Her name is Tracy, so you will get to be reintroduced to her. I did interview her. I've interviewed a few Tracys, so I'll make you wait so you can see which Tracy it is. And we're going to get into some topics. She's going to ask me the questions and put me in the hot seat and allow me an opportunity to be vulnerable with you and share with you something that I am doing that is kind of terrifying. And you're going to go on the journey with me. And that I'm going to leave it at that. You're going to go on a journey with me for 6 episodes where I get coached and you see what that process is like. Starting in August, we'll go on the ride together and hopefully we'll both be learning something, you and me, together here on the show, Born Unbreakable. Hey, all right. That's it for me. Thank you so much for being here. Remember that you are your only limit, so take action today. Make sure to hit that subscribe or follow button if you haven't already. Share this episode with somebody who needs a confidence boost. And I'll see you next time.